Scientifically speaking, we're sharing the view. From labs to clinics, breakthrough shining through, with minds that inspire and stories to unfold. Scientifically speaking, the future's being told.
Welcome to another inspiring episode of Scientifically Speaking with Christine. Before we start, allow me to thank Laurent for my hair today. But today we blend compassion with community science as we dig into the story behind one of Australia's most impactful grassroots organizations, the Harman Foundation. Founded by the Singh family, Harinder, Maninder, Manu and Nikki, in memory of Harmanpreet Singh, the foundation has been a pillar of support for the oppressed and vulnerable since 2013. With a focus on mental health, domestic violence, homelessness and grief, the Harman Foundation is driven by both live experiences and a deep desire to serve. To share more about the journey, the science of trauma and recovery, and the Foundation's far-reaching work, we're joined today by one of the co-founders of the Harman Foundation, Harinder, and a spokesperson of the Foundation, Sumeet. Welcome both of you to the show.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, my pleasure. Straight away, I'd like to know more about the foundation. So I'm going to start with you, Harinder. Let's start with the heart behind the Harman Foundation. Can you please tell us who was Harman and what inspired you and your family to start this organization?
Thank you, Christine. Harman Foundation was born out of personal pain.
Yes.
And that pain was so deep and so emotionally draining.
Right.
And Harman is name of my son, Harmanpreet Singh. And Harman meaning is God's heart.
Oh.
And in a car accident, we lost him at the age of 27.
Wow.
In 2012.
I'm so sorry for your loss, Harinder, and I'm sorry to bring it up. I know it's a little bit emotional, but the strength comes out of this story, hopefully to help others in many different services. So I really salute and your strength for today. Let us go straight away. Sumeet, maybe tell us a little bit about the foundation and its incredible work in areas such as domestic violence, homelessness and grief.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, just the foundation itself is born out of a very powerful situation, turning grief into purpose.
Right.
And power in the community is extremely profound. It shows profound love for the world in itself. It's humanity in practice, right? The foundation has been involved in predominantly grief work is where they started, from personal experience of the Singh family. But from that was born the needs of what the community wanted. And one of the biggest issues that is facing communities at the moment is, especially in multicultural, families, is your domestic violence, family violence, but also grief, loneliness, trauma, help and support. And we see that that's the sort of work that Harman Foundation is very deeply involved with on a grassroots level.
Yeah, thank you for that. Harinder, on your website, you mentioned trauma-informed approaches. Can you please explain to us what that means and how the science of trauma shapes the way you deliver your services?
Absolutely. Look, trauma is something which, when you go through, no one is prepared for that. And it happened in people's life and changed the life forever.
True.
But that trauma is not just one-off and it comes and goes. It sits with your heart and soul. And so dealing with people, as Sumeet mentioned, with domestic, family and sexual violence, or people going through grief, such as lost their
Beloved ones.
are migrated to new country and or maybe coming as here refugees. So there are so many examples of when trauma sits with people. And if any organization hasn't been practicing, I doubt we can able to deal with people in this day and era. So trauma-informed practice in our organization, like others, that our approach needs to be very mindful, non-judgmental, and finding people and dealing with them where they are in their life. And those, these traumas, they are so, people are so fragile. They quickly come up on the surface and then die down. So it's just like a wave. And if the approach is not that you are mindful of what people have gone through, for example, I'm just using an example that in our practice we are so much mindful who we are dealing with, and I can use my example. If my counselor is dealing with me and if it's new, first time, it's fine. But if they know the client, then someone is asking me, let's change your, surrounding. Let's do something in your life that what about going for a road trip? Or going out with your family and for holidays? Or what about the long weekend? They are my triggers.
Of course.
If my counselor is not mindful of, then I'm just thinking, do you know me?
They're going to make things worse as well, not better, maybe.
So that kind of trust I'm talking about. So it generates with a lot of compassion and care and a lot of going into details what people have gone through and putting them into your practice. That can make people trust you. And when there is a trust and care, that is a beginning.
I agree.
Absolutely.
That is lovely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would like to add something, Sumeet.
Absolutely. And, just reiterating what Harinder ji has just said, I mean, that's, I think, the essence of how all the volunteers that work with, Harman Foundation, they're rooted in that compassion, that real compassion, so that they can build the trust, make the person feel safe and create an environment of empowerment. Because that's what trauma does, is actually change the neuroscience, right? It changes the chemical balance. It actually has such a deep impact on a person. So rather than saying, what's wrong, you actually say, what happened to you? Which is so much more of a compassionate process. And then, the work that the foundation does is, it's not short-term relief. It is long-term
Continuous,
empowerment. You're building that trust so that you can set them up for long-term recovery.
Amazing. And as Harinder was saying, maybe without these organizations out there, a lot of people wouldn't have made it through their pain. I'd like to focus a little bit on one of your key initiatives, which is the 24/7 Harman helpline.
Yes.
So what trends have you observed through this helpline? What does the data tell you about the mental health challenges in a multicultural community like ours?
Through our 24/7 helpline, we do receive various kinds of calls, and normally I think it's very safe to say, like, domestic, family and sexual violence generally follow up with mental health and other trauma-related issues as well. So it means it's holistically, when you look at, when we do receive calls, they are from people have very kind of barriers. They are already very hesitant to talk to others. So normally that's what we have found, that having our multicultural helpline, sometimes I do receive, I'm on the roster, so I do receive direct phone calls as well. And as soon as they speak, and sometimes they ask you, can I speak in my language? Can I speak in Hindi?
That's huge.
Can I speak in Punjabi? or can I speak in Urdu?
Yeah.
So that is, this is their kind of connection.
Yes.
And they are already feeling very unsafe. They are very uncertain about what to say, what not to say. But having someone on the other side, finding, connecting with them. And because you are from multicultural community, most of the South Asian community, Arabian community, Islam, like they're all very faith-based.
They are.
Yeah, and that is a connection.
As well.
So our calls are mostly connected with roots, culture, and values.
Lovely.
And confidentiality, of course, they
Yes.
we need to assure them whatever they're gonna say, it will be staying with us. But what I believe that it is missing in dealing with these clients. So having our organization, which is very, very multicultural focused,
Lovely.
it is really
Impressive.
Yeah,
Because
practical.
as well, maybe using the mother tongue language expresses more in what they
Absolutely.
wanted to say and makes
Yeah.
them feel safer to speak.
Yeah.
and even they will be like they may be sufficient, English is okay, proficiency is fine.
Yeah.
But because when you're going through emotional trauma, you need someone
Words
Yeah.
and
who you
someone
can connect straight away.
100%.
And I found it very, very powerful tool.
Yeah. And can I just add also, just the fact that when you're able to connect on a cultural level,
Yes.
you understand the cultural, nuances because it is different, it is different. Every community has a different...
the male personality in my culture is different than
Correct.
yours or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. So we understand it from that level. And, I mean, the helpline takes, correct me if I'm wrong, we've taken about 90,000 odd calls.
Oh, wow.
And that's a lot of calls. And
It
most
is.
of those calls seem to come, and they're volunteers that are answering these calls,
Wow.
at late hours of the night, because that's when loneliness feels the loudest, right? It's when you're
Yes.
sitting alone
At
and
night.
you feel the loneliness and you're afraid for your safety. That's when they call and they're able to connect with that. So it's a real pulse check of the real issues that are in the community that sit silent and invisible during the daylight hours.
Amazing.
And most of the calls are for domestic violence and homelessness, like, I have to leave home now, what can I do? Or legal assistance. And the other one, which is quite alarming, people are desperate with food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hungry.
Very sad.
Yeah, I mean, they,
Wow.
it's quite, and on the weekend is quite a more frequent calls about food. I ran out of food, I ran out of money, I don't have next meal,
wow.
And it's just, the gratitude comes, you just think, oh my goodness, my food pantry is full of food.
I know.
And this person is talking about, I don't have
On a
any food.
helpline, like it's
Yeah.
that urgent.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. Before I continue, because you guys mentioned it's all volunteer based, the people that work on it, a great shout out to all the volunteers there that give out their time and their kindness. That
Absolutely.
is lovely, and I hope we don't lose that ever in our community. But as well, Harinder, you mentioned that you receive these calls and you want to do something about it. So what goes beyond that call? How does the Harman Foundation work with other agencies, whether it's medical, legal, law enforcement? How do you create a wrap-up, if I can say, for those crises?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, receiving a call from someone who's going through very hardship time. Now, after talking to this person and finding what are the needs, then we follow up with, if there is no immediate needs, but we do follow up with, have a conference with this person. So it means a face-to-face appointment.
Yes.
And now it's quite known that if you want to help someone, you need the whole village.
Yes.
And that is absolutely true. It's not about one organization. Then we need a hub of different fields who can actually help this person. So even targeting, if we are talking about just one case, domestic family and violence person may have a need for going through abuse.
Yes.
She doesn't know or he doesn't know where to inform, what to
Yes.
do, how police can be involved,
Yeah.
or how, in case if she has to leave home, then what are the strategies and what options are there. So it means as you go through
Different
one by one,
agencies.
different
Yeah.
agency, we do have a networking with not-for-profit organizations, government agencies. I mentioned already about the police
Yes.
or Centrelink.
Yes.
So they are all, come in. Our role is to connect them and put things in action as well.
Right.
So we are kind of different. We are not just referring them.
Yes.
We are actually with them wherever they need, and how to connect them and how to get response from those organizations. Behind the scene, a lot of paperwork is involved. So our case workers, they sit with them and help them to get things done and keep rolling. But we stay with them until they need us. So the beauty of organization is it's not about you have finished now 6 sessions.
Yeah. See you later.
Your
Yes.
funds are finished here, or you have done 6 hours counseling. We need to finish now. So we keep on going with them, and that is
journey.
the absolutely we kind of put ourselves as well. Like when I deal with, and same with other volunteers, you just put yourself like, if I'm in that situation, will it be enough? Someone talk to me for an hour and that's it, and forget about me? No. So this is the approach we do follow, and the results are really impactful.
Amazing. Amazing. And you also have, God bless, you've got a lot of services, the Healing Our Spirit and Faithful Conversations programs. And these are unique in blending cultural and spiritual elements. So how do these intersect really with the evidence-based psychological support, if I can say, or the mental health support?
I think when we are talking about multicultural community, it's so important to say that this is our faith.
Yeah.
This is our base.
Yes.
So if you have got that base, I'm not talking about a religion.
Yeah.
I'm talking about spirituality.
Yes.
If you, first of all, you need to have role models who are also believing in. Like if I'm practicing this, or I'm talking to Christine and not believing what I'm saying, then it will
won't
not
be
have-
relevant.
and it will not have any impact on, because people can see heart to heart where this is coming from. So it is very important, and talking to people from multicultural faith, having some commonality, it's a foundation.
Absolutely.
It gives you a very solid stand on. It builds trust. It builds confidence with them, and they can lean on when they need it. And this with psychology and spirituality are they are not very far.
Correct.
And we need both in our practice. And this is our so that's why we do chaplaincy and spiritual care. Because it's psychology is based on scientific base, and which is so important to know what data is saying,
The
what
facts.
science is, what fact is saying, what research is saying. So those kind of, when we put them into action, then having spiritualism with that, it's absolutely
A remedy.
we nail it with going into more deeper.
Wow.
Because it's not about temporary, as Sumeet said, not temporary solution. It's going
continuous.
into deeper, more, and giving long-term solutions.
Absolutely.
And that can be really possible if we can actually build. Sometimes when you go through trauma and go through the, disaster in your life, your marriage is broken, your kids are, being taken away, and or vice versa, then you lose all hope. Okay? So the baseline is that sometimes it's very hard to find solutions, because solutions are sometimes go beyond the person's expectations. Like, I want to go back to my home.
Oh,
you know,
you can't.
and this and abuse is already happening, and there is a threat of killing her or killing him, etc. Then the solution may not be there, which the person is expecting. So we don't claim that we are spreading happiness.
Yes.
We are finding the best
Solution possible.
for them to decide what they need.
Correct.
So they need empowerment.
That's right.
They know everything. Being adult, we know. You know, like,
But we're at the rock bottom at the moment, and we don't know what's the best
and when
for
you're
us.
on the rock bottom, your mentally capacity to think about
Confused.
is so much drained. And sometimes so that's why when you're dealing with adult and multicultural community, I mean, they're not dumb. They know exactly what they want, but they cannot make decision. So you need to bring them on the surface with love, care, spiritual care, and psychological behavior therapies, so that they can make their own decision.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
In
What a
between, you need to stay like non-judgment, unconditional
neutral.
love.
Yes.
Neutral.
Yeah. Wow.
That's definitely
There's a lot happening there.
more
right?
sustainable way approach to care. You know, it's a whole holistic approach to care. It's not just, you know, one-stop shop. It's like it tackles the trauma from every angle.
It does indeed. And many of your programs, like you started, Harinder, at the beginning, includes grief support and grief counseling. Can you talk about the science behind grief and how communities can better support people dealing with the loss?
As I mentioned about like scientifically, if we look at things, it all comes from this universe, you know.
Yes.
So if you believe in that there is a power, doesn't matter what kind of power you see as.
Whatever you call that
whatever
power, it's
you
there.
call it, it's not about the naming.
Yes.
So if you believe that, then it's much easier to understand and go through the journey of. But if they don't have belief, if they have lost that belief, and they say, "Oh, nothing is working for me," and there's
Giving
nobody
up,
can,
yeah.
So then you build their energy, you build their trust, and for the time being, you hang around with through the sessions,
Yes.
so that they can come to some point where they're happy to listen, they're happy to talk further, they're happy to change. I always say that it's not about that you are changing others people's life. They have to be ready to change themselves. It's the practice can't be one way.
Yes.
And so it's
Yes.
not about what my spiritual care is. It's about what the other person is ready to
They have the intentions to change or not.
to say. What do you think,
amazing.
Sumeet?
Oh, absolutely. I think, you know, like we already know, science tells us that grief actually changes, you know, your nervous system response and
Yeah.
your chemical balances in your body. But then when you're collectively grieving with someone who actually understands and connects with you on that, you know, that very base level of hope, which is what is such a big part of our
is.
Harman Foundation, creating that hope again from someone who has lost all hope, who does not see any light at the end
We
of
don't
the
want to
tunnel.
go into depression, right? We don't want to be in
Yes.
one issue, which is the grief,
Yes.
and then go into depression because we're suppressing it, right?
Correct, yeah. And then that support actually resets that nervous system. It, like Harinder ji said, actually starts to help that person starts to find, you know, you start to find common grounds between your caseworker and, you know, when you're connecting them to the practical aspects of it, which is your police services, legal centers, you know, community
You do
health
the science
centering.
and then the spiritual.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful combination.
It
Yes.
is indeed.
And I think the solutions are much easier with this combination than just one-sided.
Absolutely.
Amazing, and what a great teamwork that puts all this together. Amazing. I just want to know what has the impact of food hamper been? You did mention at the beginning, Harinder, like there's a lot of people surprisingly lack food. So your food hamper drives and the community outreach for it, maybe especially after COVID, and how does it all support the community, maybe also international students and migrants, and tell us a little bit more about your hamper drives.
Yeah, it's one of the, actually, in my belief is, I love this service, and I personally go in this service as well and distribute food. It's just amazing that we may have enough food in our pantries,
Yes.
but as I mentioned, people may not have it. And then, when you are scarcity of resources, financially you're not doing that well. Could be hundreds of reasons, they may have some kind of addiction going on or some kind of mental health. But at the end of the day, you want everyone to have actually meals, to eat.
Full tummies.
Yeah, exactly. So when we do serve through this drive, it's not that we are giving them. We actually get a lot of love from them as well.
It's rewarding.
It's
isn't
rewarding.
It? It is.
It's just amazing, when you see their smile on their face.
Aw.
Especially because we focus on nutrition. Like everyone can fill their tummy with very, very, nominal.
Yes.
They can buy a can of Coke and
Yes.
chips and, and this is the first thing people do when they don't have resources. They will cut the nutrition food, and because they're worried about just filling their tummy.
Yes.
And our aim is to give them
The
green
nutrition,
vegetable, fruits, and so that they can enjoy. We had a service last night, and. So after the service, all the volunteers, we were talking about that, oh my goodness, so good, like feeling is so good that tonight, these people
Are gonna sleep full tummies.
had
That's so
enough
nice.
and they're not going to
so
sleep.
cute.
Yeah, absolutely.
They will have good time.
Peaceful sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do focus on cooked food as well as other
nutritional
type of
ones,
foods.
yeah.
So it means throughout the week, if people are desperate, we do prepare hampers for them,
Yeah.
and they come and collect it. And now the question is that why people are running out of money if Centrelink is giving money. But if Centrelink is not giving money because they're not eligible, then where else these people can go? There. So such as international students, they are now, I will say, they are doing better than before.
That was my
Absolutely.
question.
They are
Do you think
doing-
after COVID, this
Yeah.
hamper drive has increased in demand or decreased?
It is increased in demand because of the different stakeholders. Yeah, it's not about international students because during COVID time, international students were also very desperate.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now with time, we have seen that they have got employment, some kind of going
Yes.
on. But now, because the cost of living is
Going
going
high.
up,
They
and
can't
now,
afford it.
You can say more Australians are struggling
As
with
well,
this
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And I have already mentioned mental health
Yes.
clients and addiction. People have got some kind of,
Unfortunately,
they
yeah.
spend their time, money somewhere else. So they are also our regular receivers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think as general in Australia, they've seen that, home security is become a massive, homelessness is a massive
Yes,
issue.
I know.
And food insecurity. And that's
Yes.
what they're seeing in the, in
Yeah.
the calls we receive as well as the food drives.
I
Yeah.
think
Food
they all
insecurity is a
come
massive
together.
issue.
Like when
Yes.
there's an issue at home,
Yeah.
it can lead to homelessness. It can lead to hunger. Like it's a sequence, right?
Yes.
And unfortunately, statistics do show that in Australia, homelessness is increasing.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
foundations like yourselves are much needed in these
Yeah.
situations.
And people like listening it, and sometimes you can't relate to because you think no, like Centrelink government is looking after them. The government can't look after each and everything. So we have all responsibility
That's true.
Yes.
to contribute as well.
Yes.
So we always need to think about what I have done for
Yes.
others.
Yes.
It's not about just getting,
give, take,
Yeah.
give as
Correct.
well.
Yeah, you need to give, and so that's another way of sharing love and care for others.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And giving them message, hey, look, we do care about you.
Yeah.
Last night we were all saying, keep coming back, keep coming back.
Oh.
Yeah, because recently, only last week, we lost someone out of, the regular receiver of our food hampers. And it's sad, when like they have got a lot going on behind the scene. And just giving them little care that
Can make a big difference.
community concern about you, community
Yes.
care about you.
Yes.
People might say, hey, look, the more we are giving to these people, the more they're
They
getting
want,
slapped.
yeah.
The more. That's not, I haven't seen that kind of thing. They do come, there are a little bit greed. We are all
It's a
greedy.
human nature.
It's something, giving
Yes.
free. So they are needy.
But you can see, you can tell if this
Absolutely.
person.
Yeah, you and me will not go and stand in a queue.
Correct.
That's
So-
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes dignity plays a role if you're not really in
Exactly,
need, but you
yes.
can let go when you really need it.
And
Correct.
all of our food drives are not in a public place. It's a full respect and dignity. They go in we go in a park where not general public is there,
Yes.
only receivers, they come,
Yes.
the clients, they come.
They just
to
know where
receive.
you are.
Exactly, yeah.
Harinder, if you don't mind, I just would like to tackle as well, as a founding member of this foundation, what has been, through your personal journey, that balanced the grief and service and leadership? These three together in your life.
It's very complicated.
I know, it's just because, people say, I'd love to give back because I have a story. So I just would like to know, balancing this story and service and now taking leadership in it. How are you doing this, Superwoman?
Oh, well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, people, including me, if you want to do something, that's the only way you can do it. So it means there is a desire, definitely, and there is a drive. But the drive comes from people who you serve.
Yes.
So seeing smile on their face.
You wanted to see it again.
You're
addicted to the smiles now.
Exactly. You wanted to see it again. I can give you an example
Sure.
that because you asked me in my personal life, leadership in community sector and looking after the organization with beautiful, worthy volunteers. So it's a very big team of people, and like other organization, we do lack finding regular volunteers. So it's not different than any other organization.
Yes.
Like financial is a challenge. We are not on funding at all. So it is our drive, which is we are keep on going from the last 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can say the drive is coming from helping others, not any other objective. And that has made me keep going, and along with other team members, my own family, immediate family.
Yes.
Because we 24/7 we breathe about
The
foundation. So it means it does impact on my grown-up children as well. So they're all part of it. But recently when I end up in a hospital not long ago because I was suffering with virus and they were all saying that, I need to take it easy. And I was reflecting a lot. I said, what does it mean? Because in my mind, I'm resting on things, and I know that if you contribute in other people's life, it comes back. The reward is there.
Yes.
It's not one way. It can't be one way. Otherwise, we could not have done 13 years without even expecting any money or anything for yourself. So in that moment, I'm thinking, I might need to stop because I'm sick, and
I can't
the doctors are
physically,
saying that because I was still going through investigation what kind of virus, and they scare you.
Yeah, they do. You
and
go
the
through
tests
scenarios.
keep on taking blood sample and
Yes.
and I was reflecting and I thought, I don't know if I can keep going the way I'm going. And then while I was there, someone knocked the door and like she removed the curtain.
Yeah.
And I saw there was a person came to see me. And she was one of the chaplains of Harman Foundation. She didn't know I was in the hospital. And so she was visiting the hospital and she saw me. She said, how come you are here? I said, yes, I'm here.
There you go.
So she actually gave me a lot of boost and taught to me spiritual care capacity. And
They used your own medicine on you. They used their own medicine.
While I was talking to her, another girl I saw through the curtain.
Yeah.
She came to leave a food tray for me. You know, when you come and you get meals. And she saw me. I saw her, and she was one of the girls who actually stayed in our women's
isn't that
refuge.
beautiful?
There you go.
And that gave me answer. I thought, oh wow, why you are thinking. It's not about you. It's about how it is impacting with the team of dedicated people. And having these two examples in those moments when I was feeling so down, they gave me really boost, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Well, anyways, you can't stop something that you breathe, right? And it does really look like you do breathe the foundation every day.
Absolutely.
And it's not about the cause of the foundation. It's about now, it is a saga. It's a, big kind of versatile services. The reason we do so many services because we believe in holistic approach.
Yes.
We cannot, we do, women empowerment cannot be just women to women.
Yes.
It has to be extended families are involved.
The partner is part of it, the families.
And that's
kids.
why our model, we believe, is much, much better model for our multicultural community.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And it's not on Monday to Friday.
Yeah,
It's 24/7.
Yeah, it can't be. Services, if we want to serve people, we do have limitations. It's not that we're
humans in the end, but but you don't lock the door at 5 p.m. and say, sorry, see you later.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
That's what in this, what, Harinder has just said is what inspires the whole band of, volunteers. Like even from my own little perspective, I'm just new in the foundation, just starting my journey in volunteer work. But just, that's what draws you, because it is comes from such a deep place of passion and purpose that you actually, how can you not be inspired by it?
I know, that is amazing.
Yeah, apart from other main challenging is how to find funding for this kind of organization.
I wanted to speak about that.
Yeah.
Well, my next approach anyways was before concluding our episode today, any messages you'd like to share with our audience, especially for those who are either struggling or you really want to help and don't know how to help, whether through their time or through their extra money that they've got on them. So I'll give you the floor to just, give your messages that you'd like to say today.
Absolutely. So, firstly, to people that are struggling. So, if there is someone out there that is struggling with grief, with trauma, with loss, with domestic violence, family violence, it's not just women, it's also men, it's, women with children, it's families, anyone that is struggling with that, senior citizens, that are struggling with loneliness or coping, or youth that you may have children that are struggling with, loneliness and things. Please do reach out. So we do have the 24/7 helpline, which you can definitely call at any time, but also through our website, which is harmanfoundation.org.au. And then people that are in a position to help. We are an organization that's based off volunteers predominantly.
Yes.
We're constantly looking for, we don't get any regular funding from any of the grants or anything that comes through,
Yes.
on a regular basis. So we are taking care of a part of a community that sometimes slips in between the cracks. So it's such crucial work, as you would have seen through the, the passion and the purpose that we drive. The work that's being done by the foundation. Anyone that is in a position to help, every little bit helps this organization reach another person that needs that extremely crucial help to save their lives, possibly.
Indeed.
So it is definitely a call out to anyone out there that's, in a position to help. Please do. Your time, your extra donation in kind as well as in cash is absolutely welcome, because this is
Definitely.
such
and
crucial
we do encourage
work
that
is-
as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Would you like to add anything, Harinder, to this?
Absolutely. I think so. The next question may be popping in your mind, like, then how do we survive?
Yes.
Where the money comes from. So we do get small grants from,
Yes. Here and there.
here and there, but no regular funding, income. And we do fundraisers. So one of our fundraiser is coming up,
Yes.
which is on 11th,
So 28th of February.
28th of February.
February,
Yeah,
28th
next
Feb.
year. So
Awesome.
we do once in a year.
Yes.
And it's called Light and Hope.
Yes.
And our we do create hope in
Yes,
people's life,
indeed.
empowers life. So
Indeed.
that's the purpose of that. We can able to continue running
Yes.
the women's refuge for them and for their children,
Amazing.
which is called Her House. So for that we raise money. Most of our money does consume into domestic family and sexual
Yes.
violence services,
Yes.
because we need an expert who
Yes.
can deal with them. So it's the salary of this our manager, and then refuge, which is house
Yes.
for up to 5 people can live there, amenities and other things, and running multicultural hub. We
Yes.
need mainly for those kind of services. We need money.
Absolutely.
So before we wrap up, before I let you continue with that, we did mention there's upcoming events that can
Yes.
help you raise money. So you did mention the dinner or
Yes.
the fundraiser that's happening in February, and the Her is the other one. the Her project.
So what we do is we have an annual fundraiser. So on
Right.
the 28th of February,
Yes.
2026,
Yes.
we have our annual fundraiser, and the main fundraising is done for Her House, which
so
is
this
the
is
women's
for that.
refuge.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
and that's where we actually call out for all sorts of, we have our spokespeople there, we
Yes.
have our community
Yes.
leaders there, we have all the donors and sponsors that come as well, and the general community. So it's a ticketed event.
Right.
And, we encourage, that's our major,
Yes.
fundraising event, which helps
Rely
the
on
whole,
it,
foundation keep doing the work that we do in the communities. So that's happening then, which we're calling for, corporate
Yes.
sponsorships.
Yes.
We're asking for whichever way, whether
Yes.
it's raffle prizes, auction
Yes.
items, tickets for the event. So,
Yes.
such a great opportunity for, families to be
Yes,
involved,
of
to bring
course.
their friends and family,
Yes.
take a table of 10, come as a couple, come as a
Amazing.
family, see the work that the foundation does, meet the key people, hear the message. That's a very important event for us that's coming up.
Definitely.
And apart from that, we also have, our, so the Hope Multicultural Hub
Yes.
is a sort of central heartbeat of where all the, caseworkers work, communities come together.
Yeah.
And we've relocated recently to Lello Park.
Yeah.
And so we're sort of combining that with sort of like an end of year, call it together, Christmas gathering.
And when's that happening?
And so that's happening on the 28th of November, so just at the end of this
just-
month.
okay.
And, we invite your listeners, if you're in the area and, want to come and see what the work is that's being
Yes.
done, please do come, speak to the people. There's volunteers there. Harinder
Amazing.
will be there. The rest of the, family will be there as well. And
I am hoping that
Yes.
we would be able, through Our Media as well, to put these two information to help the Harman Foundation for the Christmas event on the 28th of November and the gala happening on the 28th of February. So stay tuned because we will be having those flyers coming up digitally. Sorry, I had to do
amazing.
this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
No worries at all. Look, we did come to an end to our episode, but I truly heartfelt thank you and for coming here and telling us about your foundation and telling us about all the services that you guys have. It is eye-opening to see how much services are needed. So the work of the Harman Foundation is truly a testament to what the science, the service, and the spirit is doing. So once again, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to know about your services.
And also to you, Christine.
Oh, no
So,
problem.
we really appreciate the opportunity to come and
course.
talk to your viewers and your, audience. Raising awareness for causes like this, having a conversation with us, we really appreciate.
Of course, anytime. And this is our little bit, maybe, just to let the community know about it. And before we go, I would like to reach out to our people and say, if you or someone you know is in need of support, please visit www.harmanfoundation.org.au or simply call the 24/7 Harman helpline, which is 1-1800 11 66 77. 1800 11 66 77. This was Christine from Scientifically Speaking. Please stay tuned and until next time.